gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Vape AM, brought to you by Vapers1.com. I'm the host, Anthony Ramella. Well, good morning, everyone. It's another day. Dragged my happy butt out of bed this morning to get you guys some news because I think you need to know. Some of the stuff we're going to talk about later on in the episode is pretty serious stuff, but I think it's one of those things you guys need to know about. Like I've told you guys in the past on these shows, I'm just really going to kind of touch on these issues. I'm not going to go into real detail. Drew's going to put links in the description here so you guys can go down and do a little bit of your own research. And if there was any day that I think that you probably should do that, I think today is probably the day. But let's get on to some fun stuff first. It looks like you guys probably would like to know what I'm vaping on. Sure, why not? So today I pulled out my Puma mod. I like this quite a bit. I've been using my Tesla 220 for a little while now. That is a really heavy duty mod, and it also is a heavy mod. Those things kind of go hand in hand a lot of the time. My Puma mod is super lightweight. I really like it because of that. Now, I wasn't sure that I would. I bought this because it was inexpensive. I wanted to try it out. I like the look of the mod itself. I mean, it's got like this triangular design, so it sits really well. And even though it's a light mod, even with this design, it keeps that tank there stable. Like when you put it on a table, it's not going to go anywhere. I know sometimes if you get a really light mod and the tank's got juice in it and stuff, it's heavy, it's when I want to fall over. I never have any issues with this whatsoever. I have favorite natural brand juices that I kind of go back to time and again, and since Vapers does still continue to carry a couple of the Alpha vape line products, I am vaping the Dude this morning. This is probably in my wheelhouse in the top 10. I really, really like this particular flavor combination. It's like a candied pineapple with peach that's really like none other that I've ever tried before. So I really like this quite a bit. I think the Vapers Pink Label line has a flavor called Nihilist that's very close to this flavor, and I'm starting to lean more towards the Nihilist. I think maybe because it's a fresh flavor. It's a little bit different, but the combination of those two fruits are still there, and I think it's absolutely delicious. So you guys know every day we do the, what happened in history today. So today's history is a little, it's funny, but I mean, it's kind of unique, things you don't think about. So in 1948, so less than 100 years ago, ABC, the American Broadcasting Company, goes live today in 1948. So they actually just started their whole broadcasting system on today, which is kind of cool. The other thing I wanted to start doing was maybe some famous birthdays. So I thought, well, let me search through today's date and see if there are any famous birthdays. Today was the worst day to try and do that because there were no birthdays of anyone that I actually recognized on there until I got to the very bottom of the list. And it looks like today is the first appearance of Daffy Duck. So I don't know if that counts as a birthday, but Daffy's been a part of my life, my whole life, and I'm sure probably a lot of you out there actually enjoy those cartoons. So, happy birthday, Daffy Duck, if that's what we're going to call it. But yeah, today is his, birthday or whatever you want to call that. So we do need to get on to some news this morning because I don't want to keep you guys too long this morning. It is Friday, and I'm sure you want to get on with your weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Now we're going to do these episodes Monday through Friday, so I won't see you again until next Monday. But the biggest issue that I want to talk about today, and I'm only going to talk about one news story because it's kind of a big deal. So I don't know if you know this or not, but the House of Representatives have been given 3 different bills that are all basically designed around killing the vaping industry. Most of it is dealing with flavor bans. There was another one that was released this week. It doesn't even have a number yet. You know how I feel about these things. I think that we really should be looking at banning cigarettes and not banning vape liquids, since vape liquids not killed anybody. There's never been a death from that. And I keep putting this out there. If any of you guys find someone who's been killed or died from ingesting or vaping the liquid itself, by all means get me that story. Now I know there's been some injuries due to batteries, but a lot of times that's more of a user error problem than it actually is a problem with actual vaping itself. I mean, if somebody lit their pants on fire with a cigarette lighter, you wouldn't say, well, the tobacco industry is really evil. Look, they're lighting people's pants on fire. Like that, those two things don't correlate. I mean, any battery that was left like that in your pocket that was, damaged in a certain way is going to have that issue. So if it's a 9-volt battery out of your smoke alarm, you're still going to have issues because that's holding power and it could definitely cause some harm. So what I'm looking for are e-liquid related deaths, things of that nature, because I think once you start looking for it, you're not going to find any. because I've looked and I haven't found any. But the bill that they're putting out in the House, what it's trying to do is it's trying to ban flavors. It basically only wants to allow just tobacco flavor alone as the one thing that you could get in vape. They want to ban all online sales of vape liquid and vape products. They want to raise the age for tobacco purchasing, so cigarettes and vape liquid, to 21. But some of the absolutely ridiculous things that are in this particular bill is that they want $100 million in FDA user fees, and I'm not exactly sure how they're going to get that money. Are they just going to require anyone that has a vape shop to send them money? Is there going to be like a license involved with that? Is it going to be a tax that they're going to come out with? I honestly don't know. And the worst part about this is that the government wants to get this stuff from the actual manufacturers or the shops and things like that. The issue is that's just going to get passed on to the consumer. That's the only option that you have. If you run a vape shop, you don't have a huge profit margin like you do with some other type of businesses. So you aren't going to have any choice but to pass it on to consumers, which is going to raise the price exponentially and probably send a lot of people back to smoking because it's going to get past that point. They're naming this they're naming this bill the Reversing the Youth Tobacco Epidemic Act. Okay. How could anyone challenge something that's named like that? Like if I brought a bill to the floor and it was called the, Milk for Babies and Kittens Act, none of you guys are going to oppose that. An idiot, you would think that. But I could put anything I want in the bill and just name it whatever I want. One of the other bills is actually called the Scott Act, which is named after, Scott Gottlieb actually leaving, which I don't really quite understand how that would actually go through history and make any sense whatsoever. But yeah, we don't want teenagers using vape products. We don't want them using tobacco products, but that's already illegal. If we're not able to enforce this now, when you guys put this into effect and basically kill the vaping industry as we know it, get rid of all the shops, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that all these people are just going to sit their mods down and just walk away and go on with their lives? No, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to send vape liquids and mixing and all of that stuff into the underground. Now, why is that a problem? Because we're not talking about clean labs. We're not talking about any kind of, proper measuring or proper mixing, or where are they getting this stuff from? Are they getting stuff from China that might be, dangerous to you? But if you're getting it from a guy out of the trunk of his car, he's not going to have a list of ingredients on the side. He's not going to have warning labels on that. It's just going to be a bottle and he's going to tell you what it's supposed to taste like, and you're just going to, do with whatever you can. The worst thing is I think it's just going to send a bunch of people back to smoking cigarettes because they don't want the hassle. I mean, if you're using a Juul right now, obviously you're a lazy vapor. You don't even want to fill a cartridge. You just want to pop one in. And all that's going to do is like, well, if I can't get these anymore, then I guess I'll just go back to smoking. And I think they know that. One of the biggest things that they keep bringing up with this is the Tobacco Control Act that passed in 2007. And the reason why this is important is because in 2007, basically what they did is they made cigarettes have a foothold so that way they can't really get rid of them. They can just keep regulating them to the point where they keep raising the prices, but people are still going to continue to buy them. With this legislation, what they're trying to do is eliminate flavors because they know there's no vape company in the world that could survive without having flavored vape products. And they're taking flavored tobacco products away. They're taking all of that, but they keep leaving these cowboy killer, non-filtered Camel just death sticks out there, which are free for anyone over the age of 21 to buy. So that's just kind of the way it goes. One of the funniest things about this bill was that one of the gentlemen that actually presented the bill to the House, Representative Pallone or Pallone, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's Pallone. He's one of the guys that's actually on this bill, and he also either currently does or has previously owned stock in Philip Morris and Altria. Now, if you don't know who Altria is, that is the company that has the 35% in Juul. So either he still owns those stocks or he has sold those stocks, but that has happened in his lifetime. I think if you're a kind of person that's going to be an anti-tobacco, anti-vaping type politician, that you can't be making money on it at the same time that you're trying to oppose it. And that's one of the other things that I think, especially with this bill, is they want $100 million in FDA user fees and they're trying to ban it. So which is it? You can't get blood from a stone. You know, either you want money or you want to ban it, but you can't have both. And it seems like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And I'm really getting concerned. I don't know how the industry is really going to survive. The funniest part about the bill to me was I actually went through and read this from the actual bill itself, like what the PDF that's actually downloaded. It's got all of the, the verbiage in it that's supposed to have for that. And at the bottom of every page, you could see that they printed it out on April 1st. Now, I find that kind of funny because it seems very foolish to me, and what a better day to print that out, but on the National Fool's Holiday. So you can take that for whatever you want to do. The other thing is we want to make sure that you guys are really contacting your representatives, especially all across the country. They are trying to make this Tobacco 21 thing a thing across the country. I just read an article last night about our own governor, Mike DeWine, who has just basically said, I am just waiting for the papers to reach my desk so I can sign them. He's not taking into consideration all the people that are really going to be affected by this. And I just found out also about midnight last night, I was reading another recent news article that Summit County here in Ohio, so that would be like the Akron, Cuyahoga Falls area, just basically passed Tobacco 21. I didn't even see anywhere where they were actually voting on it. It just basically said we put this into effect. That's going to affect not only people in that age group who are using e-cigarettes that are trying to not smoke, that is also going to affect businesses out there. I know if this happens where we are, it probably affect 25% of our business pretty easily. You're taking something away from kids that, not kids, but 18 to 20-year-olds who are not smoking, who are living a healthier lifestyle. But I can't even imagine the damage it's doing to the businesses in that area. I know personally at Vapers, we'll probably have to let 3 or 4 people go if that actually passes in our area because they're under the age of 21. They're like 20. And if you can't sell it, if you can't use it, then you're going to end up having to look for another job. So there are all these other things that are going to happen with this Tobacco 21 passing that I don't think you realize. It's going to put a hurt on the economy. It's going to hurt people that already have jobs. It's going to take away the ability for them to pay their bills or have a place to live. And you need to really think about that stuff. So if you're over the age of 21 and you're like, well, this doesn't really affect me. It could, or it could affect someone that you know. How long does it take to jump on the site? And there's a link right down there in the description. All you have to do is click on it, type in a quick little email, send it off and say, hey, I use fruit flavors every day. I quit smoking because of vaping. Please don't take this away. I believe 18-year-olds are old enough to make the decision whether they should be able to allow to use vape products or not. And they're going to take that stuff into consideration. If they made a law that they allowed you to have vape products at 18 and tobacco at 21, I would vote yes to that without even a hesitation, because I think if people started on vape products and then, when they got to 21, they were allowed to use tobacco products, they'd be like, why would I do that? That stuff tastes like ass. It's awful. Like, oh, no, why would you do that? And I think this whole gateway approach that some of these politicians are saying, well, if we start them on vapes, then they're more likely to switch to cigarettes. I really don't think that's the case, and I think the opposite is actually true. They'll probably work their nicotine levels down to the point where they don't have nicotine. And I never hear anybody talk about this, but there is lots and lots and lots of vape juice that's available with no nicotine. So we're just talking vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, and some flavoring. That's it. No nicotine at all. So if I'm just concerned, that's one of the things. So please stay informed. We want to do these shows so you guys can stay informed. I do appreciate you guys watching this morning show. I've got to get going. I got to get in. I'm probably running late as it is because this ran a little longer than I had expected to, but I'm going to jump in the shower real quick. I'm going to get cleaned up. I'm going to get to a vapor store. If you have questions about this, please comment below, subscribe, like, repost this. Please tell your friends, and we'll see you again on Monday, I guess. So have a great rest of the day.
Vapors, you're my savior, now I'm out of danger. Living life tobacco free, baby. Go to Vapors, they got flavors that'll whittle on. Anything that you buy is a home run. A better store in Toledo, you won't find one. Come on, man, stop smoking while you're still young. I wanna go to the edge of the nation and tell the vape world of my appreciation.